Alright, I have finally figured out how to get these things loaded on YouTube. So you have all of chapter 11. We're going on to chapter 12 now, which is instrumental music in the classical era. It's very interesting. I love instrumental music from the classical era, but I don't have any on my iTunes. I was going to let it play in the background. It'd be lovely. And I could probably play some on YouTube in the background, but maybe for the second part of this chapter. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, we're talking about instrumental music. And notice we're talking about instrumental music before we're talking about vocal music. Now, this is very unusual. And this signals a change that I hinted at in the Baroque period, but we really see come to the fore in the classical period. And that is that previously vocal music had been considered superior to instrumental music. That has to do with the fact that it's natural. It's in the person. It's something that is totally given to you by God, if you from the heavens, and it comes to you. Whereas instrumental music, you have to add something extra. You have to add an instrument. This starts to change in the classical period, and we'll talk a lot about this more in the next part of the book, which is the Romantic period. But the ideas start to emerge in the classical period, and Bonds makes a point of noting that the idea that instrumental music has a syntax and a rhetoric of its own comes into play. Now, what do we mean by syntax? Well, syntax is the way we put things together. It's the way you put a sentence together. Subject, verb, preposition, it's part of the syntax of the sentence. And rhetoric is how it is used to express ideas. And the idea emerges in the classical period that instrumental music, or music in general, but particularly instrumental music, has its own way of talking and its own way of communicating. And this, of course, comes about with having to understand what the form is, what it's supposed to do. If it's not a four-measure phrase, what does that mean, etc. The most important genres of classical music, of music in the classical era, and notice this is classical with a big, let me see if I can do it. I don't know how to do it for you. C. Yes. Not a little c. The big C, classical period, comes after the classical era, classic Greece and Rome.